and I'm a junior business management major.
Howdy, I'm Rylan Weehee, and I'm a sophomore construction science major.
Howdy, I'm Brock Pugh. I'm also a junior construction science major.
Hi, I'm Catherine Perez, and I'm a senior construction science major.
Howdy, I'm Brian Hurtado, and I am junior construction science major.
Howdy, Edward Perez, and I am a senior construction science major.
And we are 12th Man Construction. So to kick off this presentation, we're going to answer 4 main questions today. First of all, who is our buyer? So we're typically going to be targeting our 55 and up active adults that's typically going to be around 67 years of age. What are we selling? We're selling a luxury lifestyle for our active adult age-restricted community. When? This is going to be a 3-phase project that's going to be built out over 5 years, and it's going to break even in the 4th year. As far as where we're going to be located in St. George, Utah, and we're going to be really just situated as to be the premier luxury home builder in the area. That being said, I'm going to hand it over to Ashlyn, who's going to talk a little bit about our market analysis.
Thank you, Brock. So this is a general overview of the St. George statistical area. A few facts about St. George is that it is on the southwest corner of Utah. It's about 2 miles from the Arizona border, and it's also very close to Nevada. This is a city that is growing and growing quickly. It is a bright and busy city that will help us to attract the market that we are looking for with all of the amenities and nearby attractions. The first one is Red Cliff Conservatory, which is about 15 minutes away. We also have right in St. George the Main Street area, which as you can see is very vibrant. We have Las Vegas about 1 hour and 45 minutes away. The outlets of Zion are about 10 minutes, and also 10 minutes is the St. George, Utah Temple. Lastly, we have the Zion National Park, which is about 1 hour drive away. So with all of these amenities, you can tell that this is a very vibrant community that will attract our target market and give them what they're looking for in their home and lifestyle. So now I'm going to pass it to Ryland, who's going to talk about some of our data that helped us with our product selection.
Thank you, Ashlyn. So when looking at our target market, we did multiple studies to really cater our product design and selection towards our buyers. One of the studies we did was to figure out what size square footage house our active adults would prefer to have, and from this we found that an estimated 1,300 to 2,400 square foot house is ideal for our target market. Next, we also found that the majority of our buyers would prefer a single-story house. They are active adults, but it's just a convenience and it makes it better for them. So like I said, we're targeting active adults for 55 and plus, and we are also focusing around single and wedded buyers because they both fill our market. Next is some current competition that we have in the St. George area. Here is our price point per square footage for some of our local competitors, Sun River, Sun City, and Sun City Mesquite. We are the pink line going across, and as you can see, we have a very competitive and attractive price for what we are providing. We're providing a luxury product, and we're doing that to cater towards these active adults who are coming in and wanting to live in a forever home and enjoy their experience in this town. Next is just some absorption data for our competitors. Sun River is shown here for the past 3 years. They're reaching the end of their development cycle, and they've been achieving an absorption rate of about 16 houses per month. So we believe that our absorption rate that we have set at 12 houses a month is very doable because it has already been done in this market, and we'll be taking over their market share. So next, I'm going to give it off to Brock to talk about our land plan.
Thanks, Rylan. All right, so starting with our community layout, as you can see, we're built out into 3 pods. So as far as this luxury market, we are built out from our 3 product lines, and they're separated into our 3 pods, really to target that specific lifestyle. As you can see on our pink location, we have our 40-foot lots. There's going to be our rear loaded alley lots. We have which are going to be our desert cottages. We have our 50-foot lots, which are going to be our Spanish mission style homes. And our 65-foot lots are going to be our desert modern homes. They're all separated each out because typically most neighborhoods, you want to separate your lifestyle per your lot. And that's really where we're going to drive that lifestyle for the development. As you can see, we have 2 entrances. A main entrance is going to be used by our residents throughout all 3 phases of the project. That secondary entrance is only going to come into play after we finish our build out. It's going to be used as a construction road for our construction vehicles and workers in order to make sure that we're not intruding on this active adult lifestyle and make sure that we're providing the most luxurious attraction for our residents. As you can see, we're focused around our clubhouse, and this can be the main attractor for almost all active adult communities. That rec center is going to be the primary focal point for those activities, those lifestyles, that active adult community where you want any of those clubs, organizations that our residents are looking for. As far as our phasing plan is concerned, it might look kind of a little bit unique, I would say, as far as floor plans are concerned, and it's built out our way in order for us to build out each of our 3 product lines, so the 40, 50, and 65-foot lots throughout all 3 phases without gapping out, which is going to be expanded upon by Brian. So kind of the key points we're going to talk about is our 3 model homes. Those are going to be started in the 10th month of construction for our project, which is all going to tie into our clubhouse, which is also going to be built out in the 10th month as well. And then following that, our phase 1 development for our build out of our homes is going to start. And those are going to be a total of 167 lots. Leading into phase 2, we have 167 lots to follow that. And then lastly, we'll conclude phase 3 with 171 lots with a total lot count of 505 lots. So as far as lot premiums are concerned, they're expanded upon in our booklet. They're targeted for each of our 40, 50, and 65-foot lots, and we have our lot premiums designated throughout the project to help drive our price points home. As far as our utility plan is concerned, we took into account all of our utility connections. First off, we're going to lead off with our northwest corner. That's going to be our secondary connection that's going to complete our water loop for the area. These are just trunk lines, and obviously we'll branch out for each and every lot. From there, we'll have our northeast corner, which is our main connection point for our sewer, power, and gas. And that's going to be the driving point for our community. And last, we have our west corner. We have our water detention. Our community is going to be sloped in a way where a lot of our water detention is, or runoff is going to go to the east side of the development towards the creek. And we'll have our water detention kind of help mitigate that risk of water. Lastly, as far as site management and logistics are concerned, it is pretty I would say simple. We have the space throughout our phasing to build, layout, and stage all of our lots for our homes throughout each phase, and we'll be able to do that successfully, especially with our construction road. One of the main points that we want to add is that on the west side of the development, we'll have an 8-foot noise barrier wall that's going to help reduce any noise pollution from that Interstate 15 traffic. It's really going to help drive home that luxurious lifestyle for our residents. That's going to be budgeted out in our land development costs and our financials with a total cost of $500,000. Next, I'm going to hand it off to Catherine, who's going to talk a little bit about our housing product and marketing.
Thank you, Brock. At Essence at Desert Color, we're selling you a luxury product for an attractive price. Some of our desirable features include outdoor living, an open living concept, a frog option, and a low HOA fee of $152. On our 40-foot lots, we have a cottage's architectural style. It is sized at 1,300 square feet and is priced at $260,000. On our 50-foot lots, we have a Spanish Mission architectural style. It is sized at 1,500 square feet and is priced at $300,000. On our 65-foot lot, we have a Desert Modern architectural style. It is sized at 23,000 square feet and is priced at $437,000. Why Essence at Desert Color? At Essence at Desert Color, we're not only selling you a home, we're selling you a lifestyle full of friends and enjoyment to create that sense of community. We're also selling you a luxury lifestyle, which is proven through our 12th man construction known reputation. We're also selling you our luxury amenities with over 60 clubs and groups, 14 pickleball courts, 7 bocce ball courts, a ceramic studio. There's a club activity for you. Like I said earlier, one of our biggest selling points to our potential buyers is our clubhouse. It's 14,000 square feet and it costs us $6.4 million. Our first sales and marketing strategy is our design studio. We strategically placed our design studio in the garage of our model homes so that when you come and visit Essence at Desert Color, you can see hands-on what your future home could look like. We're going to have a webpage on our 12th Man Construction corporate website that will include a virtual walkthrough of each of our model homes and a tour of the community tab. We are implementing Matterport technologies, which create 3D virtual walkthroughs as shown in this bottom left photo. This is something that not all of our competition is using in St. George, Utah. We're going to have presence on these 6 social media sites along with running targeted ads. We realize that online is where we're going to reach a majority of our potential buyers, and before they come visit Essence at Desert Color, we know that they're going to look us up on the internet. And we're also going to be participating in some traditional advertising strategies, such as billboards, which we will have 2 placed in the St. George, Utah area, and direct mail postcards, which is a traditional more traditional way of advertising, but our target buyer still values this form of communication to this day, which is why we are going to go forward with it. And now, on to Brian with construction management.
So for the construction management part of our project, we decided to split it into 3 different phases. The first phase is designed to last for an estimated 24 months. The second phase is designated to last for an estimated 23 months, and our last phase for another 23 months. As you can see, each of our phases is designed to overlap each other by an average of 9 months. This will allow us to keep up with the absorption rate of 12 houses per month. Following this schedule will put us on pace to finish our project in under 5 years without gapping out. Next, I will talk about the sustainability portion of our project. We wanted to focus on homes that have energy efficiency and water conservation because we believe that's a big factor in the market. Our homes will be equipped with a HERS rating index of 60, which is significantly lower than the rest of our competition. How will we do this? We will equip our home standard with Energy Star rated appliances and tankless water heaters. We will also equip our homes with the outdoor living space equipped with artificial grass that will save our buyers money on water and electricity. Our homes will also be equipped with advanced framing methods such as 2x6 exterior walls, which will allow our homes to have 50% more spray foam insulation. Our windows will be equipped with low E2 glass, which are with the solar heat gain coefficient of 0.37, which will allow our homes to stay cool throughout the summer. Lastly, we wanted to include all these features to keep our maintenance costs low, which is a big factor and a big importance to our buyers. Now I'll pass it on to Eddie, who will talk about the sales, financial risk, and analysis.
The first thing I'll be covering is our financial overview. After contacting several land brokers in the St. George, Utah area, we determined that a $12.5 million land acquisition fee is very reasonable and achievable. With that land acquisition fee, we determined that an unlevered IRR of 20.92% is very achievable. Breaking down our costs, our development cost is $149.8 million with a built-in contingency on top of that of $8 million, which will bring us to a grand total of $157.9 million for our total hard costs. We're anticipating a revenue of $190.6 million, which will bring us to a profit of $17.6 million for the project. Some of the potential risks we determined is recession, poor performance of the master developer, changing buyer attitude, and declining labor availability. Several of the solutions we determined for that would be, which is we have already included in our home cost, is a $10,000 allowance given to each home buyer, so that way it helps mitigate that risk. Another thing we have determined is a discounted homes further in the event that we have to mitigate those problems more. By adding an extra $5,000, we bring our total concessions to $15,000, which lowered our unlevered IRR to 17.62%, which will produce us with a $15.2 million profit. On top of that, if we were being more optimistic but still very reasonable, if the demand were to increase in the other way, where they have more demand for our product, we determined if we were to get rid of our concessions completely, we will raise our unlevered IRR to 25.24%, which will raise our profit to $22.234 million. With this, our company is rather conservative in our financials. We have a built-in contingency of $8 million for the total project, with a $10,000 concession already built into each home, which gives us that extra leeway in the event that we have any unforeseen hurdles in our way. Along with that, as Brock mentioned earlier, we have forecasted to be break even in the 4th year of construction, which is why we believe that our project is very opportunistic and beneficial for both us and Desert Color. And now we would like to thank you for your time and open the floor for questions.
It's me. Thank you guys. That was great. Really appreciated the presentation and also the written proposal. A couple of things that I particularly liked. I liked the study that you did about what type of home does this buyer want to build next. You know, I think that that's a really good exercise rather than just looking at the competition and saying, we'll just do what they're doing. Finding out what does the target market really want, because the competition may not be on it, right? right? And I'm not saying that's the case in this case, but I think that doing the exercise is valuable. I also like the I-15 noise mitigation, and just thinking through that might be a negative for some of this target market. So I wanted to ask about your product selection. So in your site plan, your 3 different types of products are segmented into the 3 different areas, but you only chose 1 floor plan per product segment. Can you explain your thoughts on why you just chose 1 floor plan, and how do you feel like buyers will feel about being in a pod of over 100 houses that are the same as theirs?
Yeah, so looking at our layout, for the presentation, we had only 1 rendering for the project. If you look in our proposal or the booklet that we sent to y'all, we have over 60 different options. So for our 3 product lines, we have 20 different floor plans that are unique for each home. And those include our optional upgrades and features that can add that little personal ability to that home buyer. So we didn't want to, blast through that many land plans or just those floor plans for our homes. So we have many options for our buyers. So it was in our booklet. I guess we didn't touch upon it as much in our presentation, but there are those options. We include whether that's a 1-car garage, 2-car garage, or 3-car garage, because we do know where residents, whether 2 cars, they might want a golf cart for any kind of activities they want throughout, just to promote that active lifestyle. If that answers your question.
Okay, sure. And then, I would question a little bit. I mean, I would have rather seen the different product types mixed together a little bit, maybe a pod of the alley loaded product kind of in each of the 3 kind of sub neighborhood concepts. I think that would have helped you be able to not kind of jump around the site with the phasing as well, because I understand what you were trying to do there to capture all the product types in each phase, but it forced you to kind of jump around a little. And I think mixing the products together may have helped with that a little bit. But anyway, great job.
Yeah, very professional, very well done. Easy to read, easy to follow. I was even more impressed with a lot of the viability of the numbers. I thought your construction costs were spot on. Land development, the amenity was very realistic for the cost. So excellent on that. You did have a couple of busts in your land development. You had $3.6 million in for mobilization. I think someone added a 0 in there on that, which would make you more profitable. And I don't think your linear footage of utilities matched your linear footage of road. So I think there was a error in there, but kind of reaching to find bad stuff because it was really, really good. I did have a question. There's very specific design criteria with regard to architecture for desert color that you guys didn't appear to adhere to whatsoever. Was there a conscious decision, or were you not aware of it, or?
Is there something that you're specifically looking for?
There's several, which makes this a very unique, challenging site. Your garage has to be at least 25 feet from the front. It's only allowed to be 33% left to right of the elevation, and there's a porch requirement on every house that you guys didn't account for.
So for our 40-foot lots, there's going to be a detached garage in the back for the floor plan. That was that 5-foot setback from the back, and that was really just to add to the rear alley loaded lots. And then I had that optional frog option for any kind of assisted living or any kind of other options for that home. As far as the 50 and 65-foot lots, we had that 25-foot setback for our garages from the front setback. But the one thing that we're looking for is that we wanted more of that kind of outdoor living space in their backyard, and that's really what we targeted primarily for. Our cottages did have that front porch, and that was just for that architectural style. But looking at some of the market that we were looking for, it kind of embedded us to push for that outdoor living space in the rear of our homes, and that's why we had not really that front porch at the front of our 50s and 65-foot lots.
If I may also touch on that, a desert modern architectural style it's not traditional to have a front porch. And we understand that they wanted the porch for a sense of community. That's why I'm thinking that they wanted the porches, but it just didn't really fit the architectural style that we thought our price point needed and what we wanted for the 65-foot lots.
Sure. That makes perfect sense. It's just you wouldn't be able to do the project because they would never give you a building permit. Is my point. But the point of this was the financial viability, not so much the architecture. So we didn't want you spending a lot of time designing plans and doing all that. Just wanted to point that out just for thoroughness. Like I said, this is an outstanding proposal.
Yeah, it was really good. A couple questions. You guys talk about the product. To me is still a little bit confusing. You've got each product type has got a specific elevation style associated with it. Are you going to elevate that entire pod and that's one style, or are we going to be able to mix and match styles so we get a more harmonious streetscape?
So we have like 3 elevations for each product, and that's where it comes in the unique floor plans into our products. If I understand your question, where we set out our specific style for our lots, it's just really that community. And typically when you buy a home, you're gonna want kind of similar price point for your home for that little development. And then just for the floor plans themselves, so for like our 40s, we have those 20 unique floor plans with 3 different elevations for each home, which adds to that kind of unique aspect that we're not looking at the same lots on for that whole single neighborhood, where you get a little mix and match to where you're not getting the same home going all the way down the street.
Okay. The other only question I have is you've got, it says you have 3 sales managers per product type. Are they required to only sell their specific product type, or can they cross sell? If their product type for some reason is not selling, they're not making any money, they're not going to stay.
Yes, sir. Those 40s are driving our absorption rate up to 12, and we said that we wanted them segmented because of our phasing plan, because our phasing plan has each of our lot sizes. And so that's why we said 3 for each, so that you don't have like they're getting bored because it's not their phase right now. And so
Right.
we have that rolling.
Okay, very good.
Yes, thank you. This was a first-class design, well thought out. So you obviously put a lot of time into it and understand the market. There's, again, you're going to get harder questions from everyone here because we feel like you guys are better equipped to handle them than some other teams. And obviously, I really liked a lot of parts of this. It was very well done. Having said that, so now, I did like the product. I'm struggling at the end just to completely understand the way you broke out the financials, and I don't think I see any kind of cash flow schedule in there which explains the 21% IRR. So is there something in there that shows me that I'm just not finding, or is it just left out?
Yes, sir. If you were to look at the book in the financial section, there's a chart that breaks down each month the cash flow coming in. It shows at the beginning of the project it dropping down, and as the time period moves on, it shows the cash flow flipping up into the positive and where it flows through to the end of the project.
Oh, you mean the little linear chart that goes like this?
No, sir. There's a bar chart in there that shows it going down at the beginning of the project and then towards.
Yeah, I saw that. But what I mean is, what you normally expect to see in something like this is an actual detailed cash flow schedule that would show, here's my sales, here's when my houses start, here's when they sell, here's when they close, here's how I spend the money. And that's presumably, you guys must have created that, or you would not be able to calculate the returns. But it doesn't look like you included it for us to be able to see them.
Yes, sir. And the performa, the 3 sheets, it looks like an Excel sheet where it's blue and white on there. It has a breakdown of all the different information we use for our performa. And there should have included the cash flow on there as well.
Did you guys see it, or was it just me? I think it didn't make it to the final version. So unfortunately, I can see you probably did it right, because the other guys were saying, the assumptions all seem correct and everything, but it's impossible to tie it off at the end. And then maybe this would be clear if I could see that schedule. But I like all your assumptions about the staffing, and you thought that out well, and you've got budgets for it. How does that relate? And then you have the one little chart where you show representative plan from each product type that shows a contribution margin. You know the one schedule I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
That was very good. Where do those indirect costs, how are they derived? Are you just backing into a percentage, or would I see those if we had the whole cash flow schedule? And are the staffing and the marketing costs all picked up in those indirects? or are they somewhere else?
No, so the staffing and indirect cost, the staffing and marketing costs we have included with, I believe it was $1,000 per home spread out throughout the period of the whole 5 years. When it comes to the first part of your question, when it comes to including the margins and how we backed out, how we got to that number, we did it based off the market averages across the nation. When it came to the luxury home builders, we kind of got an average of what they expected back on our returns, and we adjusted our things where it was reasonable to fit into our financial plan, where it made sense, where it wasn't ridiculous, it wasn't unreasonable, and it just fit where all our costs that we estimated came out to match, where it happened to fall within that range.
Okay, so the overheads, the staffing and everything else, are they in the indirects or are they below that contribution margin line? In other words, is there more overhead that's coming after that 8% contribution margin?
No, sir. All the indirects that we have estimated are included in that before that contribution margin.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. You guys got off lucky because we're out of time. All right.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.